Wait, was that 215 million? Wait, what happened? He didn't even spawn. Wait, what the f?
What's good, folks? It's Nightmare Frame here with a new Warframe video, taking a look at the good old Monkey King Wukong. So this build came to be after a viewer of mine redeemed a video about Wukong, talking about his exalted weapon. I have this redeem feature on my Twitch channel if you want me to watch a video. Use your points to redeem. And it's the only time I consume Warframe content. And the video was by Cool Kid. I got redeemed a few of his videos before on obscure random facts about Warframe. Good stuff.
Cold. Because
Blast meta! Sorry, I was channeling my inner Astacross there.
to combo primary elements, which can let you get a lot of status effects going.
So most of the things said in the Wukong video was stuff I already knew, but two things caught my attention. Wukong's staff increasing in range when you build up combo. I thought this was changed, but good to know it's a thing, so I'll be taking advantage of that. And the other thing that I was a bit more engaged in was the Helminth recommendation section. There were two that were just not that great because of what they need to actually work, like Zata's Whisper and Lycat's Hunt.
Is that all?
If you're using a strategy that has low efficiency or something, then the good old Equilibrium and Lycat's combo is as good as it always is.
If you're going with a low efficiency build, Nourish is going to be 10 times better than Lycat's Hunt. Because remember, Lycat's you need to kill, what is it? Enemies affected with 5 or more status effects. But then you have to like use a primer or whatever. Just go Nourish. It's going to be the most balanced. Yes, I know. Nourish, most overused Helminth in the game, but the reason why it's overused is because it just works better on so many setups over the original frame it came from.
However, he did mention Wrathful Advance and Nourish. I myself released a Wukong video using Wrathful Advance. It was a decent build, did good damage, but after more and more testing with Exalteds and damage scaling, came to find out Wrathful Advance isn't the best, nor that great of a Helminth for a lot of Exalted melee frames. It's okay, but it's not the best. And Nourish was just a clear winner.
So here's the thing. Let's check out Wukong. I have Wrathful Advance on my Wukong. All right, let's remove Gloom. I don't know what this build was. All right, let's put Best Helminth. Oh wait, that's not how you spell Nourish. Anyway. Wait, why do I have this modded for radiation? Why is it not corrosive? What the fuck am I doing? Am I trolling? Config B was that? It's fine. This is on config B and we're still doing damage. Guys, sniff your copium after I said that. Huge! Nourish carry! Oh my god, I had the Tennokai bug where it heavy attacks twice! DE! ¿Por qué? Oh, 6.9 million! Huge! Nice! We got the funny number! He's a grower, not a shower. My man, he's both. My Tennokai ran out, and I lost I lost my combo! My cock shrunk, dude! No! Guys, let me ask you a question. Why can't you have sex after playing Assassin's Creed? 'Cause Ubisoft. You get it? Guys, you get it? Because Ubisoft, Ubisoft, yeah. Good one, thanks, man. At least somebody appreciates that joke. Yeah. Wait, what happened? He didn't even spawn. Wait, what the Guys, pray for me. I can make one purple shard and save it from being consumed. I can save some bile. Guys, I saved some bile. Oh my god, no, oh my god. My Korra. Goodbye crit damage, Korra. Bro, they're dying before I can slam. Stop dying. I mean, not slam, heavy attack. Oh, look at those 90 millions. This is when you do damage math correctly, boys. Damn, 78 million damage. Woo! Wait, was that 215 million? Woo! That Eximus took 50 million damage to the face. 130 million. Oh my god. Bro, that's the second time they spawn right in front of me and die. Oh my god, stop spawning in front of me and dying. I'm swinging my cock. And I have it. It's violence. Oh my god, it's violence. Never mind. Hey, never mind. Never mind.
To understand why, let's go over the pros and cons with both Helminths. Starting off with Wrathful Advance, it does 3 things. Teleporting in any direction, teleports you to a target to perform a heavy attack. Unfortunately, it scales with the weapon's inherent heavy attack wind-up speed, so that's a bummer, and grants you a flat crit chance increase to your melees. This crit chance is applied after all your built-up crit chance multipliers, and given to you as a flat value. This also applies to melees with no crit chance, saving you some mod slots. The cons. It has really low duration, and refreshing the buff is going to be more common, so there will be some DPS downtime. You have to look away from enemies to activate the buff, or you can accidentally hit enemies with a heavy attack, and that will consume all of your combo, which does slow down DPS. Another unfortunate con is that Wrathful Advance does not apply to your clone because it is a buff for your melee. However, Nourish is a buff that can be shared with allies and specters, and those are classified as allies. Nourish, on the other hand, gives you 2 major boons, a viral elemental damage multiplier and energy multiplier. Elemental damage is a massive boost to your overall damage, as it's one of the big 3 when it comes to damage scaling. Not only that, it has good base duration. The energy multiplier increases all incoming energy. The cons. It doesn't give you crit chance. Yeah, with those 2 major boons, this means when I need to boost both the elemental damage and energy multiplier, I need to lean heavy.
I am heavy weapons guy, and this is my weapon.
In the strength department, and to upkeep my buffs, I need to sacrifice 2 stats, range and efficiency. Because of the massive energy multiplier I gain, efficiency doesn't matter, and because the abilities I'm using don't scale with Warframe range, then the range stat also does not matter. I will be replacing the 3rd ability for a few reasons. It doesn't do anything for the build, because it completely stops me from dealing damage with its long animation charge up, and the final animation when it deals damage is also a long animation. And because I'm going negative range, the ability will be completely obsolete. It also provides me with armor, which is another useless stat that does not benefit me. If you have a look at both me and my clone's shields, we're juiced. The best part about this build is that it's going to deal insane amounts of damage while also having good survivability. The increase to our strength and duration will also play a huge role with Primal Rage. the Augment. This Augment gives me a max of 150% crit chance when fully stacked. You gain this bonus from getting kills. The decay rate is affected by duration, and the increase per kill is affected by strength. Win-win. This crit chance is an additive multiplier, meaning it is additive with Sacrificial Steel and the Gladiator set bonus. Yes, those apply to Wukong's staff. Building combo is going to be important. Not only that, building combo increases the range on Wukong's staff. This is also important, as it saves me a mod slot on the build to add more damage. Another thing when working with Nourish on the build is that you can add more things to further increase your damage. While with Wrathful Advance, you have to worry about energy economy, because even with 179% duration, I still have to recast the ability every 17 seconds, and that eats up some energy. So I need a couple of things to deal with the energy issue. With Nourish, we have a free Arcane slot for even more damage. I have two options besides the mandatory Arcane Fury for the bonus base damage, because I won't be running Conditioner Overload, as that requires a lot more priming to take full advantage of. While building for straight up base damage will one-shot pretty much everything. I can run Molt Augmented as my second Arcane, or Arcane Strike. While Strike is an increase to our DPS, I found that it wasn't even needed, because Berserker Fury was more than enough. So Molt Augmented was the next best Arcane. This does mean I have to recast my fourth ability after 250 kills, which is just fine. With all that said, people are still going to be skeptical and don't really want to test things out, so that's why they come to these types of videos. They want a visual representation of which Helminth is better. To make it balanced and fair, I did a balanced test where I made both builds with 199% strength. The Nourish one had Blind Rage on its own, while the Wrathful Advance one had Transient Fortitude and Umbral Intensify. But to add on to that, before I activated my staff, I used Matarai's Sling Strength, giving me 40% strength, and my Grimoire with Vohm Invocation, which grants me 60% bonus strength at max stacks. Now, of course, Wrathful Advance started off strong because it had the advantage with the initial bump in its crit chance. But once I built up my combo, getting my Gladiator set bonus and Primal Rage stacked up, Nourish and Wrathful Advance were neck and neck. But then I increased the strength for both builds. And guess which one completely blew the other out the water? Yes, Nourish dominated over Wrathful. Yeah, we got a higher critical tier with Wrathful Advance, but still could not compete to the increase in overall damage. And this is another thing that people swear by, and that's using Steel Charge. And yes, it's a good thing, and I thought that would be great as well for my build. That was also not the case. Steel Charge is greater than Growing Power, and Corrosive Projection is greater than Steel Charge, because it's an entirely different multiplier to your damage. So spread your multipliers, boys and girls. You will do more damage. Another reason why Nourish is such an amazing Helminth. Do you remember the time I did the 2 billion damage Kullervo build? Yes, guess what Helminth I was using then? Oh boy, who would have thought? So on Kullervo himself, he has the unnerfed version of Wrathful Advance, go figure, and you slap on a bunch of crit damage and elemental damage, and this is what you get. 2 billion damage. Alright, so let's take a look at this new Wukong build. You already know the Helminth, because we've been glazing it for the entirety of the video. As for my Archon Shards, I have full purple Tauforge crit shards. This gives me 37% crit damage at base, but when my energy is over 500, I get double the bonus. As you can see right here, our max energy is at 556, so we get double this crit damage bonus. And I'll be adding to that crit damage with Tenacious Bond from my companion. Starting off with the Wukong build itself. In the aura, I have Corrosive Projection. This is a negative 18% armor on everything that has armor. This is a pretty decent multiplier to our damage, because we're removing defenses from the enemies. My strength over here, as you can see, it's 254 because of Blind Rage and Transient Fortitude. The additional strength is coming from Precision Intensify, which affects my fourth ability, giving it more base damage. And I'll be adding on to that strength with Molt Augmented. So after 250 kills, I deactivate my fourth ability and recast it with the higher strength bonus. And for even more strength, before I activate my ability, I have the Mad Focus School. 2 Void Slings and the alternate fire of my Grimoire will give me strength and strength, which will then snapshot into my fourth ability. And of course, that's going to be added on with the 60% bonus strength from Molt Augmented. All of that to boost the outgoing damage. Now, to upkeep my duration, I'm using Narrow-Minded. Range isn't important, so this is going to be a big boost to our duration. And for survivability, I'll be going with Prime Redirection and Fast Deflection, giving ourselves a large shield pool and the shield recharge and recharge delay. Now, you could go with Catalyzing Shield, but that will require you to press even more buttons, and we don't want to do that. You just want to sit there and do damage. Prime Flow is mandatory, so we can get more crit damage with the purple shards. And on top of that, giving us a large energy pool, so we have enough to rely on. And then finally, Augment Primal Rage to give us 150% crit chance on our Wukong staff. And taking a look at the Iron Staff itself, I have 2 Umbral mods here, and the only reason I'm doing this is to add on to my crit chance, and of course bumping up some base damage. And I'm adding on to the crit damage with Organ Shatter and Gladiator Might. You see here I have 3 stacks of this set bonus because it's coming from my equipped melee. The set bonus doesn't necessarily have to come from the weapon it's equipped on, but from other sources. It can be on your Warframe because there are some Gladiator mods for the Warframe and melee Gladiator mods. So I have 3 Gladiator mods on my melee, and this gives me 30% crit chance per combo, which stacks up to 330%. And when you add it up with 275 plus the 150 from Primal Rage, I get a total of 8.55 crit chance multiplier. And you multiply that with the base of 25, I'll get a total of 213.75% crit chance. That is guaranteed orange crits with a 13% chance of getting a red crit. However, here's another thing. We're using Tennokai. So every 4 hits, we get to do a free heavy attack. And with Sacrificial Steel, we get 2 times the crit chance increase for heavy attacks. So that's going to be red crit territory whenever we perform a heavy attack. Berserker Fury is going to be all the attack speed you need. And for the elemental damage bonus, I'm running Corrosive and Heat. As you can see right there, Corrosive and Heat. It's universal. And secondly, you get some little bit more armor strip when you get a Heat proc, because the weapon does have a moderate status chance. And over here you can see the changes to my crit damage. This is going to be our final crit damage there, 13.7. That's pretty huge. Now for our weapons, just take any primary weapon, make sure you have the Dexterity Arcane, and for the secondary weapon, I'll be using a Grimoire. Now my Strength Grimoire just has Vome Invocation. All I need to do is alternate fire, it ticks away and grants me bonus strength, 60% strength at max stacks. And of course, we have secondary dexterity. Now, because this is a secondary weapon, I'll also be adding the Augur mods. This converts energy spent into shields. So some nice shield regeneration over there. And for the melee weapon, it's going to be the Praetus. Praetus is just going to be the best for movement utility. We have this evolution to give you sprint speed and slide and parkour velocity. And what do you know? This is all I have modded onto it. The Gladiator mods, which do affect my exalted weapon. Onto the companion, it's going to be the Nautilus. The reason I'm using the Nautilus, as you saw on my Iron Staff, I do not have any range. So the Nautilus is going to group up enemies for me, and that way I can hit them easier to help me build up combos, so then I can build up my range. The build is simple: Cordon for the Radial Suck, Guardian for the shield replenishment, Shield Charger for even more shields, and remember, when I get shields, my clone also gets shields. So this boosts all of us. Duplex Bond so it can spread out and do its tickle on enemies. Tenacious Bond to give me critical damage if my companion's weapon is over 50%. And Manifold Bond is here to reduce the cooldown of the companion abilities. And I'm easily doing that by having a primer for my companion. So it does its own priming, and when I kill them, it reduces the cooldown of the companion abilities. But here I'm using the Burst Laser, because it is the only weapon that has high crit chance, decent status chance, does not need a Riven, and has moderate fire rate that I can use to prime. But if you have a Riven for Verglass Prime, it's going to be way better. And the Riven needs crit chance. If it doesn't have crit chance, then there's no point using that for this particular build. This is something everyone can do, and you won't even need a Riven for it. Because I have Nourish, I buff my companion, I don't need to put Viral on this build. So it's going to be modded for gas, electric, radiation, and magnetic. And simple as that. I have Prime Pistol Gambit, it's over 50% crit chance, and I do not sacrifice any fire rate, so it's able to attack pretty fast. And how do I trigger Duplex Bond? Just consume a decent amount of energy.
We got 1 clone and the 3 clones. You have a max of 3 clones. As you can see, you kill them, it reduces the cooldown, it can group even more. So this way I have consistent grouping because it does its own priming, and when you kill enemies, it reduces the cooldown thanks to Manifold Bond. Anyway, folks, that has been it from me. I do hope you enjoyed and learned something from this video. And if you did, please feel free to leave a like, share, and subscribe for more Warframe content, streams, and so much more. Do refer to the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace. Bye-bye now. Bye.